Hi, this is Aaron from Paradise Lost. We're going to be playing in Bogota at the Ace of Spades Club on the 30th of April, and you are enjoying Alejandrosis.
Paradise Lost es un nombre esencial en el metal gótico. Con una historia que viene desde finales de los años 80, esta agrupación inglesa no tuvo miedo en evolucionar de un sonido bastante agresivo de death metal a incorporar teclados, voces femeninas e incluso melodías electrónicas en el transcurso de los años 90 para así establecer una marca propia. Este 2025, Paradise Lost llegará por tercera ocasión a nuestro país con el ánimo de apoyar su producción más reciente de estudio, titulada Obsidian, pero también para brindar un repertorio en el que encontraremos clásicos de álbumes como Draconian Times, One Second y por supuesto Shades of God. Con el ánimo de conocer más acerca de la actualidad de Paradise Lost, atendió a nuestro llamado Aedy, histórico guitarrista de la banda, en esta entrevista que quiero compartirles a continuación aquí en Alejandrosis. Acompáñenme durante los siguientes minutos. Quiero invitarlos a que se suscriban al canal de Alejandrosis si aún no lo han hecho, activen las notificaciones, si les gusta este contenido, me brinden un me gusta. Todo eso ayuda a que este medio siga creciendo. Ya son 13 años desde la última vez que Paradise Lost nos visitó. Aquella ocasión fue en el bar Ozzy, ubicado al occidente de la ciudad, en un show íntimo que estaba yo releyendo la reseña que entonces escribí y obtuvo una calificación muy alta. Previamente, Paradise Lost debutó en Colombia como uno de los actos principales del festival Rock al Parque en el año 2008. Ahí compartieron tarima con sus compatriotas de Carcas en una noche que yo sé que varios de ustedes recordarán, con mucha lluvia ahí en el Parque Simón Bolívar, pero también bastantes emociones. Acerca de esos recuerdos, de esas memorias de su última visita por la capital, parte nuestra entrevista con Aedy.
Just the same amount of passion and excitement. I really feed off a crowd. I love playing live personally, and what I've always found whenever we, especially when we go like South America, but the last time in the Aussie bar, I remember that was a really impassioned gig. I think the dressing room was on the balcony, from what I remember. But yeah, no, that was a great show. But yeah, the last time I was there, I also visited the Ace of Spades Club where we're playing. So yeah, looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's going to be like nice, sweaty, full, and lots of people enjoying themselves because that's what I aim to do.
Wonderful. I understand that the band has already recorded and mixed a new album, right? And you hope.
It's not fully mixed yet, but it's recorded. Yeah.
Okay. Could you give me more details? Maybe a little bit about their style, the sound of Paradise Lost.
No, it's like opening your presents before Christmas. No, I don't want to go into the new album too much just yet because I'll wait to see what it's like when it's mixed. It's almost finished, but not quite.
Okay. But we'll be able to hear any song for your new album?
Probably not because the problem. I mean, in the old days, you could play a new song live before it was released and it was fine. But now with people filming shows and it's basically you're releasing the song early. So probably I don't think so. I don't think we're planning to play it on this trip. No.
Okay, I got it. Talking
I
about
mean, I'll find out more. We've got a rehearsal next week, so I'll find out more then. But at the moment, I don't think there's a plan.
Okay, I understand. Talking about the present era, as you said, with cell phones and streaming platforms and everything, do you miss the old times when you released an album in the traditional way? You sent to the maybe no, I don't know, magazines, maybe special channel television, and you wait for the reception, or you prefer right now when you released and in just a few hours you have a lot of comments?
Do you know what? There's pros and cons to both sides. I mean, the way I always think of it is, I remember when I was a teenager, I used to be so excited the day of release, being able to go like buy, I bought sort of Peace of Mind Iron Maiden the day it was released, and the last record I got the bus to town to buy an album was King Diamond's Abigail in '87, and that was because I passed my driving test about a week later. So, but I remember being on the bus home and just vinyl is great because you can appreciate the artwork for one, you know, rather than it being like a small pixel on the phone or whatever. And I loved reading all the lyrics and the thanks list and everything on the album. So for me, nostalgia wise, I kind of miss that element to a bit, but there is a massive bonus in the fact that the minute it's out, regardless of where you are in the world, you can listen to it. I mean, that is still mind blowing, really. It's pretty amazing. So there's pros to both, but I do miss the excitement of not knowing anything. And you might hear one song on the radio before you buy it or something, you know. I kind of miss those days. They were exciting, you know.
Si bien la última producción que publicó en estudio Paradise Lost es Obsidian en el 2020, hace 2 años la banda tomó la decisión de regrabar Icon, su célebre álbum de 1993, en esta oportunidad para festejar su 20 aniversario, y lo lanzó con una nueva carátula, nuevos artes y también una producción, una remezcla hecha por el productor colombiano Jaime Gómez Arellano. Acerca de los motivos que los llevaron a revisitar esa obra, nos cuenta más a continuación Aedy.
With returning to the songs first, it was brilliant. I've always loved the Icon album, and there's always been a few songs on there I wish we still played live. So revisiting them, and we did a bunch of Icon shows as well, which did really well. It was great. It was good fun to get back to do those. But I mean, the reason we thought it'd be something different to do, but also we don't own the rights for Icon. It's owned by Sony, I think, at the moment, and they also own the artwork. So we would have had to pay them a lot of money to re-release it and use the artwork because, you know, they hold on to those things. So we saw it as an opportunity to do something different. And do you know what? It was really good fun to do. I love revisiting old albums. It's like when we did the Gothic tour, that was good fun. We did Gothic a few times. Draconian time shows have always been really good fun to do as well. But yeah, going into Icon, you know, playing songs like Shallow Seasons and Forging Sympathy I love Forging Sympathy. Playing that again, it's a good heavy banger. I use Forging Sympathy as like a warm-up song before I play a gig, so I was actually chuffed to be playing that one. But yeah, it's kind of nice. It's like a trip down memory lane, and you remember all the little things happened around recording it. You know, it's like opening a memory capsule for yourself. You know, it's good fun. Good fun.
Okay, you talk about Draconian Times, your fifth album, and it turns 30 years in June of this year. The poster here in Bogota shows the cover of that album, and also has the tour is called The Devil Embraced, which is one of your latest songs.
Yeah.
Could you give us a preview of how much Draconian material will be here in Bogota, and how much more of your recent material?
Yeah, because we're treating it as though we haven't toured Obsidian, so it's more like an Obsidian tour show we're doing. So we are playing songs like The Devil Embraced and a few songs off the album, and then yeah, we always play at least a couple of songs off Draconian Times anyway. So I can't remember the set list off the top of my head. I'm literally starting rehearsing tomorrow at home, so it's been like press this week and things like that, doing interviews and stuff. So, and then tomorrow I can start properly rehearsing. I've got the set list now. Nick sent me the set list. So yeah, Nick always likes sorting out the set list, so he's always been good at that. So, but yeah, there's some Drac Time songs like that. It's a good mixture. You know, there's some off Gothic, there's something off, you know, Icon. There's bits of everything really. But yeah, we'll be playing a few songs off Obsidian because we're treating it like it's the end of that album tour in a way, because we haven't managed to play it in South America, obviously. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to that.
Cuando uno tenía la posibilidad de adquirir Metal Hammer, Kerrang en droguerías, puntos de revistas, era donde se enteraba de la actualidad de grupos como Paradise Lost. En mi caso supe a finales de los años 90 que la banda estaba lanzando Host, su séptimo álbum de estudio, que no estuvo lejos de la controversia, porque es ahí donde hace hincapié en la electrónica, sí, con bastante melancolía, pero también con algo más cercano al synth pop que al metal tradicional. Hay que decir que los 90 no fue un periodo nada fácil para el metal, muchas transiciones metidas de pata, pero bueno, algunos lograron sobrevivir lanzando buenos discos. Con respecto a Host, nuestro invitado parece tener recuerdos dulces, porque si bien fue un trabajo resistido, también fue muy inspirador.
It's do you know what? It was I never go back or regret anything. Every step you make in life gets you to where you are today. And if you're happy today, it's a good step, you know, and all a learning experience. But I think we needed to do something different at that time. We'd just spent between Icon, Draconian Times, and then 1 Second, we had a pretty intense 6 years of touring and doing the twin guitar thing. All right, there was more electronic stuff on 1 Second, which was because we spent so much time playing it. We needed something to keep the music fresh for ourselves, you know, to keep it interesting. I mean, the temptation when a album like Draconian Times does well for any band would be, oh, that did well, let's do another one. But then you're not being honest to yourself creatively. And I think we needed to do albums like Host. The thing with the Host album, once we played it live, it sounded heavier, a lot heavier, because we had to fill in the gaps because we've got two guitar players, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the Host album because Greg was concentrating a lot on keyboards while he was in the studio. And I said, oh, if I can make the guitar sound like that keyboard part, can I play it on a guitar? So recording Host was one of the most interesting albums for me because I was playing more with effects and sounds than I ever had done, because normally I just do the rhythms and the sort of acoustic stuff. But yeah, it was an interesting time for me as a guitar player. It's like, there's bits that sound like a keyboard stab, but it's actually me with loads of effects on the guitar, So it was interesting in that respect. But I think we needed to throw a curveball to find out what we wanted to do next. And I think once you've gone, off in one direction, you can look back and appreciate what made you fall in love with the guitar music in the first place. And I think that's what we slowly began to realize. Plus, around the time we wrote Host, we were like 29, 30. You start listening to more different styles of music, and you kind of you change a lot as a human being around that point. And I think it kind of reflects how we were as people, And Nick was going through quite a hard time at the time with his father being terminally ill. And I think everything came together to make Host is our most miserable album, really, as in depressing, as in rather than not meaning as in it's a bad album, it's a great album. And Gomez's remix, I thought, did a really good job with it, because I thought the original mix was a bit flat, no dynamics. Whereas when we played it live, things popped out more because there were more dynamics when you played it live. But it's like now when we play So Much Is Lost as part of a set, sometimes we throw that in. It blends perfectly with the other material because it's the same guitar sounds or whatever, and it just works. It just adds a different flavor to the show, so everything doesn't sound the same. And the Host album live was very much like that. But yeah, I think it was a necessary album to do. I think if we'd have kept doing sort of like Draconian Times 3 times more, we'd just split up, because we formed the band to make music that we enjoy playing, and we wouldn't have been enjoying it if we'd have kept repeating ourselves creatively. Your soul dies, So I think change sometimes is good, but then as you get older, you appreciate what you loved when you were younger again, I think. And that's brought us back to the heavier end of it, So yeah, necessary and a brilliant album in its own right,
Nice to hear that. With the exception of your drummer position, your lineup is very, very stable. You, Nick, Gregor, and Stefan have been working together for almost 40 years. It's not easy.
Yeah, 37 years. And I've known them a long time. I mean, when I was 11 years old, Greg was in the next classroom to me when we were 11 years old. The original drummer, Tuds, he sat behind me when I was 11 years old. I met Nick BMXing in 1982 when we were 12 years old through just riding bicycles and BMXing together. And so we've known each other for years before the band. We were literally friends coming together to make music that we wanted to hear, and we still want to do that. And as long as we enjoy it, we'll keep doing it, I think, you know.
Wonderful. Final question for someone unfamiliar with Paradise Lost music and who might be curious after watching this interview. What songs, albums, or videos you recommend to start to make it into the Paradise Lost world?
I think you'd have to take a song like "Say Just Words" at one end for being a catchy, upbeat song. "Beneath Broken Earth," the most miserable doom song we've ever written, and then maybe something like it's a tough one. Do you know what? There's so many I love playing live as well. "Disappear" from 1 Second. God, I don't know. Let me think. "Shadow Kings" would be a good one as well. I think that they'd give you a rough idea, but then the song 1 Second to give you a flavour of the more electronic stuff. Between 1 Second, probably that's a better for either end, like 1 Second at this end, and then "Beneath Broken Earth" on this end for the pure guttural misery. I love that song, and it sounds immense live, even in sunshine.
Estupendo, amigas y amigos. Ahí estuvo la conversación con Aedy en la previa de Paradise Lost en Colombia por tercera ocasión, luego, quien lo creyera, de 13 años. En los comentarios, si van al concierto, por favor indíquenme cómo les pareció, qué opinan del metal gótico, o bueno, cualquier cosa que quieran decirme, estaré muy atento a leerlos. Mi nombre es Alejandro Bonilla. Quiero que por favor me sigan en mis diferentes redes sociales con más contenido relacionado. Muy pronto nos volvemos a encontrar aquí para hablar de la música que más nos gusta. Hasta pronto.